Good afternoon, children. Now we have Rumplestiltskin. He's a great story to read about, isn't he? Once upon a time there was a miller who was very poor, but he had a beautiful daughter. One day it happened that he had the chance to speak to the king, and in order to seem important to him, he said, "I have a daughter who can spin gold out of straw." "Now that's a talent which interests me," answered the king. "If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her to my castle tomorrow, and I will put her to the test." And when the young girl arrived, he took her to a room full of straw, gave her a reel and a spinning wheel, and said, "Now you will start working, and if between now and tomorrow morning you will have not spun this straw into gold, you will die." Thereupon he locked the door securely, and she was left all alone. There sat the poor miller's daughter, not knowing what to do. She had no idea how to spin straw into gold, and she became so frightened that she started to cry. Suddenly the door opened, and a little man entered, who said to her, "Good evening, beautiful miller's daughter. Why are you crying?" "Alas," answered the young girl, "I have to spin all this straw into gold, and I don't know how." "Well, what will you give me if I spin it for you?" asked the little man. "My necklace," answered the little girl. The little man took the necklace, sat down behind the spinning wheel, and started to spin, spin, spin. He only spun 3 times, and the reel was full. He replaced it by another one and started to spin, spin, spin. And he only spun 3 times, and the second one was full too. He did this all night until the dawn broke. So all the straw was spun, and all the reels were full of gold. And who's that? Rumplestiltskin. As soon as the sun arose, the king arrived. Well, when he saw all the gold, he was extremely pleased, but he was a greedy man and wanted more. He took the miller's daughter to another room full of straw, which was even larger than the one before, and ordered her to spin all that straw into gold in one night if she wanted to stay alive. And when she was left alone, the young girl started to cry. And there she is watching Rumplestiltskin do all this marvellous magic. Because who else can spin straw into gold? Only a little person called Rumplestiltskin. Still, she promised the little man his wish, and again he spun all the straw into the gold. Hold on. Sorry, darlings, I turned 2 pages at once. Then the door opened once again. The little man appeared and said, "Well, what would you give me if I could spin this straw into gold?" "The ring that I wear on my finger," answered the young girl. Well, the little man took the ring, sat himself down beside the spinning wheel, and by the next morning he had spun all the straw into sparkling gold. Look at this. Great mountains of gold. And the king is very, very greedy, isn't he? Huh? Great mountains of it. The king was delighted at the sight of all this gold, but he still wasn't satisfied. He took the miller's daughter to another room full of straw, and even larger than the first 2, and commanded, "Look, you will spin all this straw for me tonight, and if you succeed, you will become my wife." Although she is only a miller's daughter, he thought, I couldn't find a richer wife. Well, when the young girl was alone, the little man arrived again and said, "Well, what will you give me this time if I spin the straw into gold?" "I don't have anything more to give," answered the young girl. "Well, promise me your first child if you become queen," said the little man. Well, that's never likely to happen, thought the miller's daughter. Still, she promised the little man his wish, and again he spun all the straw into gold. And when the king arrived the next morning and saw all the gold, he prepared the wedding, and the pretty miller's daughter became queen, much to her surprise. And 1 year later, when she had forgotten all about the little man, she gave birth to a beautiful child. And then one day he suddenly walked into her room and said, "Well, give me what you have promised." The queen was terrified and offered the little man all the treasures of the kingdom, not to take her child. But the little man answered, "No, I have no need of treasure. You must keep your promise." Then the queen started to moan and weep. The little man felt sorry for her, and he said, "Look, I'll give you 3 days. If within that time you discover my name, I will let you keep your child." Throughout the whole night the Queen thought about all the names she had ever heard, and she sent a messenger through the country to find out every name that existed. And when the little man arrived the next day, she started with Caspar, Melchior, Balthazar, and said one name after another until she knew no more. And every time the little man said, "Well, that's not my name," the next day she had inquiries made throughout the entire neighbourhood for the name of every single person, and she repeated the strangest and the rarest names to the little man. And there she is, trying to tell Rumplestiltskin all the new names that she'd found. "Isn't your name Cow Ribs, or Leg of Mutton, or Spider Legs?" she said. But still he answered, "That's not my name." The third day the messenger came back and said he was not able to find any new names. "However," he said, "when I arrived at a huge mountain at the corner of a forest where the foxes and the hares say good night to each other, I saw a fire burning in the front of a little house. A very strange little man was dancing around this fire. He was hopping on one leg and singing, 'Today I bake, tomorrow I brew beer. The day after tomorrow I will bring the Queen's child here. How lucky I am that nobody knows that Rumplestiltskin is my name.'" Well, you can imagine how delighted the Queen was when she heard that. Soon afterwards the little man entered and asked her, "Well, what's my name?" She answered, "Is your name Harry?" "Nope." "Is your name Bert?" "Nope." Then the Queen laughed and said, "Is your name by any chance Rumplestiltskin?" Here he is dancing by the fire. That's the fox and the hare saying good night to each other. And there he is, see, dancing by the fire. And somebody heard him singing. "It must have been the devil who told you that. It must have been the devil who told you that," screamed the little man. And in his rage he stamped his right foot so violently on the floor that he disappeared through the ground and was never seen again. Well, that was the exciting finish to a story, wasn't it? I couldn't remember the finish to the story, but now I remember. Okay, well, that was Rumpelstiltskin, and we'll get on to another one.